I like Welcome to the Ballroom. It's classy and cool tone, great character designs, and sometimes wonderful aesthetic. Simply being a shonen adaptation about something as unconventional as ballroom dancing is kinda cool. However, the tournaments, aka the heart of the show, is holding back what could be one of the better anime of 2017. So let's look at how Welcome to the Ballroom fails in competition. Undoubtedly, the biggest grievance with Welcome to the Ballroom's tournaments is the pacing. This is nothing new, but shonen entries heavy on the competition can often take several episodes to convey what could easily be covered in one or two. Naruto and Dragon Ball Z both present this obstacle all too often. You know the ones, where each contender talks strategy in their head for 10 minutes, then one move takes place, only to be followed by more internal strategizing. Meanwhile, the Chimera Ant arc of Hunter x Hunter brings everything down to a leisurely stroll in slow motion to tell how an expertly planned battle can turn into 30 minutes of utter chaos with a single hiccup. Welcome to the Ballroom falls in the former, where over-explanation is substituted for poignant writing. This is made apparent during the Tenpei Cup, where each dance in every section of the tournament goes on too long. 3 episodes in a row, I thought, okay, this is the last part, and nope, it just kept going. This lapse in pacing extends elsewhere. The frame and the flower, an apparent common visual metaphor in the dance world. It's a nice idea, the concept being that in ballroom dancing, the lead uses his abilities to show off the partner, aka the flower. As a means of world building, that helps the audience begin to understand the culture Tatara has taken a nosedive into, something integral to any show about an obscure topic. This too just keeps getting brought up in prolonged scenes as if we didn't fucking get it. At first by Hyodo, who's trying to give Tatara advice on how to lead Mako. Then in the closing minutes, Tatara and Mako are having a heart-to-heart as the finals approach, literally in front of an enormous framed painting of a flower. Hyodo's statement and the painting are both called back to through far too much of the tournament as the thought rattles around in Tatara's head. There is a moment I actually enjoy later on when Production IG flexes its animation muscles with a visual interpretation of Mako's yellow gown blooming like a field of flowers. All that in between though is entirely unnecessary. To go back to the animation, there is far too little of it. The Yuri on Ice comparisons are inevitable. Both are about sports generally viewed as leaning towards the ritzier crowd, indulging in the elegance of the human body during competitions scored by judges. Yuri on Ice has some stellar animation, integral to conveying its message to an audience predominantly made up of people who've at most seen highlights of figure skating in passing. As someone who fits that description, I know that Yuri or any of the other skaters are nailing a performance just by the animation alone. Welcome to the Ballroom has spurts of this, but far too often we are left staring at panning stills. As a result, it's inferior, and particularly disappointing given the Production IG brand. The audience in the dance halls will be reacting as if something incredible just happened, and then we see what they're looking at, and this is exacerbated in the scoring. During the Tenpei Cup, there is a minimal focus on anyone but the two starring couples, Tatara and Mako, and Gaju and Hanaoka. It's framed in such a way that you'd not be wrong for thinking they're neck and neck. In actuality though, Gaju and Hanaoka take first while Tatara and Mako take 7th. Meanwhile, all these literal background characters fill in the gap. One solution to this again brings up a comparison to Yuri on Ice. The cast of that show is sizable and given a great deal of screen time. Performances from each and every skater will individually take up a few minutes of each episode. They're important to the narrative and we see how well they perform, so the results are believable. Because this isn't the case with Welcome to the Ballroom, the rug is pulled out from underneath our feet. What is shown on screen, how I interpret it, and the outcome never seem to really line up. When I watched the first 3 episodes of Welcome to the Ballroom back as they aired, I came out pretty optimistic. I continue to enjoy it, but mostly for the off-the-dance floor antics. There are a ton of great character exchanges, especially as the cast grows in the second core. Gaju's turn to the light side and the additions of Aki, Tsunatsu, and my personal favorite, Chizuru, and her tomboy attitude are vastly superior to anything happening in the ballroom. As always, like, subscribe, all that nonsense. It is very much appreciated. And if you can, please donate to my Patreon. That's by far the best way to ensure that these videos keep on coming.